So Cody, you've been at Jones Road Beauty for 6 years, 2 years as CEO. You recently just stepped down from that role. What was the impetus behind that?
A few things. I mean, like, especially because it's family business, trying to like balance what's best for me, best for the business. And like, fortunately, in both scenarios, I thought it was the best thing where like, I didn't think I was the best person to take it forward, but I also just wasn't having fun. Like, I wasn't having fun personally, but also it was just like professionally as well. Like I wasn't doing the stuff that gave me energy. I was spending a lot of time doing, things that either I didn't think I was good at and, wasn't enjoying and didn't think I was really doing a great job. And, obviously I care about the brand doing well. I think I took it to great heights. I took it to, 9 figures, profitable stuff like that. But I also just realized I'm like, not my skill set to take it next phase. And then like, I just was not having fun. Like every waking moment felt like it was just like stress and everything. And I was just like, I'm too young to be that miserable,
I mean, it's a long time to be at one company. You were there for like 6 years, right?
Yeah. And it's like
Let's see
family
something
company and
different.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
I told the board, which is like literally my parents and like a few other like family friends, where I was like, hey, I think I'm done. They're like, no, like you're just not sleeping. Like you have a kid, like you're just stressed. Like we'll just take
a couple day break.
We'll just get you support. Like we'll get you a president. Like because I didn't really like build like the right structure and team, so I had like way too much. Like we did 160 million last year. I didn't have a VP of finance or a VP of marketing. Like partly my fault, partly like the board like was like, oh, what do we need a VP of finance for? Like we don't have any debt. Like
You guys were pretty lean.
yeah, like so it's just like so unsustainable. And so there's just so many things I would have done in hindsight, right? That's like should have invested more. But so I kind of like ran us to that point. But it's just like that's a little bit of like my personality. I'm like everything I do, I'm just gonna go like all in, not sustainable at all, burn out on it. So trying to work on that a little bit.
Would you say that if you had built all those systems, you would have been able to be CEO longer? Or would you say like, no, I'm a growth person. Actually, it was just a bad match. And it was a bad trade-off to be CEO for what I actually enjoy.
It's a good question. Yeah, still no. Like I could have, and I'm like, oh, what if? But I also like not into like I'm not into beauty. You know what I mean? It's not like a passion thing of mine where like I just care about, I have an exit goal in mind, I have a profit goal in mind, and if we're not hitting that, I'm like pretty upset. You know that like Kobe like job's not finished thing? Like that's my mentality, right? And like I think that's not great for a consumer brand. Like you need go with the highs and the lows. Like Bobby can come in if we're having a rough month or a rough day, and because she's just as passionate about the product and the brand and the industry. Like I don't really give a crap about that. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or not on this. So
No, we curse.
no, all right, cool.
We're
I don't give a shit
adults.
about that. Right?
He's a big boy.
I've been told when we do our pod, they tell us it like hurts the algorithm if we curse.
But I think they take it out, right?
Yeah,
You set it
okay, I
out.
don't know.
Yeah.
But so like I think you need that passion, and like you can't just be about the money, I mean you can be, but I think it's much easier to weather highs and lows if you're into it. So no, I don't think so, but I am on the board now, and part of the funny thing is like I'm still involved in strategy. I'm still like doing that, and I almost feel like I'm like almost a better CEO now than when I was like there, because I was like I couldn't have the time for the strategy, and I was too involved and stuff because I didn't. It's how I led, but it's also like I didn't really have the team to be able to be like, all right, cool, like I can go and just do this big stuff.
Yeah, it felt like to me that you were almost like CMO and CEO at the same time. And for a
Yes.
brand of that size, it starts to seem like that would be pretty exhausting.
Yeah. It was a bad idea.
I think when people look at your like online persona, like Twitter right now, it's like AI. So I just assumed that your next thing would be AI, but that's not necessarily the case. Like that might not be the case. Like you're testing multiple things.
I'll do a few things. Like I just want to try stuff. So I'll probably do some consulting. Like I think where I felt like I was struggling with Jones Road, it's like I had to do a little bit of everything, and I didn't have time to get into anything. And I just the parts that would excite me and light me up is like when I met with my ecom team and we were doing like I was like handing off our ecom roadmap and like doing stuff like that. Like I just want to do stuff that's fun and bringing AI to it. So I'll try. Like I'm gonna do some AI. I built this like AI CRO program and landing pages. I think usually try to be humble. I feel like I'm very good at this one thing. I just have gone super deep on this one thing and put more time into it than like anyone I know. So I want to try and see if it would be as valuable for doing it for other brands. So I'm going to do a few pilots and do that. But I just don't want it to feel like it's like an agency. I'm going to build, I tweeted last week, but I'm going to build some landers and just like be like, hey, if no cost, but if it beats it, I'll pay me 20K. Like, I think that would be fun, Like I was talking to a friend who's doing a lot of like affiliate marketing he's doing Google, but like affiliate for telehealth stuff. I'm like, that sounds like fun. Like that sounds like fun.
You're
to
like
me.
a bounty hunter, basically. Like
I don't know, just like fun. And
Yeah.
and also that stuff like I don't have to commit to. It's not like, hey, I have to get an LLC and I have to start a business and I have to buy inventory. I'm like, let's try it. That's fine. So I'll probably do some consulting, probably take on like 3-4 clients, like only if I feel like it's like fun and the right fit. Obviously I'm still going to do the pod. I'm going to try some of the AI stuff. And then because it's coming out a little later, I'm launching a brand with a few people that I'm kind of coming in late, but I'll be one of the co-founders and I'm really excited about it.
So in terms of AI, like where do you see that it's like 80-90% as good as like as a human? Where do you think it's like exceeding it? Like obviously for CRO, it's very database where like I think AI could do really well. But is there like an element of taste that you think is still missing that like a human has to inject?
The one place I'm like the most bearish on is like creative. Like I'm not at all like I hate when people say AI UGC. I'm like, you totally lost the plot. Like I'm not that old, but like I've been in ecom for probably like 10 years. And like, you know, I remember when like UGC was like legitimate customers and it was like unedited and it was like literally like a yapper was like it. And like we've come so full circle that like now everyone's talking about yappers and I'm like, that's just UGC. Where like most people when they're talking about UGC, it's, you know, tube science style, like backstage actors that are brief. Like how is that user generated content? And then like AI UGC, like AI user generated content, like those things.
It's like an oxymoron.
It is. That's what I mean. And so I just like when I hear people talk about that, I'm like, you just lost a lot. So that being said, like creator everything, right? Like that's where before I knew what I was doing, I was thinking about it. I'm like, let me go and like be a TikTok shop manager somewhere. Like I just want to get like my hands dirty, like doing stuff.
I got
and
a
like,
job for you,
like,
brother.
you hiring? I was literally gonna be like, Zane, are you hiring? Like no, because like I'm just like that sounds like fun and like that's the best way to learn. So I'm really bullish on organic creator. I'm really not bullish on like AI creator, but anything like that. So like that's where I started with the AI CRO program. I'm like, it's obviously helped tech the most, right? And like everyone in tech is talking about the convergence of roles. And I'm like, well, CRO and ecom and like website dev is like, it's either data, right? Which I think AI is better at if you do it properly and don't hallucinate, right? It can analyze stuff so much more. Like you can just go through way more data than a human would be able to. And then it's code, you know? And then I was also like design, like web design is just CSS. Like that's code. Like why can't it do that? So that was why I went really deep. I will say the models are getting a lot better at like design. And it is very possible. Like a lot of the Jones Road website now, like I built myself, like our nav, our cart, like PDP, like with AI, but you just have to take a ton of time with taste, building design systems, stuff like that. Otherwise, like it just looks like AI slop. And
what's your stack look like today? Like, what are you using today? Like we woke up this morning, what were you using?
So I got Claude. What's a Claude Max? So I have Claude Max Plan. I have Codex. I probably use Codex more.
Really?
Yeah, I like it more for a few things. And then Hermes as well. And then using HQ for like all of like the context layers. Yeah. Have you heard of it?
What is HQ?
Yeah, honestly, what does HQ do?
Yeah. It's so funny because like it's almost not fun for me to talk about it anymore because like I was just trying to meme it. Like,
Yeah.
it was
You
just
made it a
fun
meme,
thing.
dude.
And now I'm like
memed into the ground.
No,
at this
oh yeah,
point.
no. Jacob showed me the signups when I started like memeing and tweeting about
It's
it.
on your bio. Like,
I know,
as one
and
of
I don't
those
know how to get
things.
rid of it.
They're like, we got this guy for life.
No, but now it's not fun because I'm gonna become an advisor and I actually really like it, and so I don't want people to think he's just like shilling the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. So AI normally, like with Claude Code or Codex, is kind of like Microsoft Word and stuff like that, where it's like you can't really collaborate really well. And what HQ is trying to do is make it multiplayer, so it feels more it's like a Google Doc. That's like my best like explanation. So everything you still exists locally, but everything gets pushed to a cloud. And then so I can work on something and I can be like, hey Zane, I just worked on this TikTok strategy. Go check it out. And if I tell you the file name, you can just like pull it down to your computer. They're just trying to make it more collaborative and really big on like context engineering. I'm in a big like context engineering phase where like I'm building out new agents and stuff and skills for this new brand. It can be trained on that, you know? So it's a way to make it multiplayer and then really good for context, which I found to be really valuable.
Are there any like I use Victor? You know, people will go out of their way and set up an Hermes agent, and I'm like, that's my version of multiplayer AI.
Mhm.
My difficulty is on my team. I find it really hard to get the non-managerial class to use AI productively.
Mhm.
And then oftentimes when you have like a creative using it, it actually makes their work lower quality. So like that's been my real key pain point. It's almost like I don't want it. This is almost a stupid take, but like I want there to be a limit on how multiplayer it is. Outside of the managerial people on my team, like have you found that to be true at Jones Road or in your experience? Like, did you have this difficulty training your team up?
It's really hard. It's very hard. Yeah, again, I don't think like I don't know that much about what you're doing and stuff, but like I don't know that it's that helpful for creative stuff. I think it can help with research, it can help with all the administrative stuff. Like it's not supposed to be. And I think sometimes when what I found is like trying to push AI, it's like everyone's like, no, I don't want it to take away the creative stuff. And it's like doesn't do that. Versus like I had my creative director really leaned in and like she had a lot of fun and got really good because she wasn't trying to do like AI shoots. She was using Flora where she would take our actual shoot and she would be like, hey, like I need this background or different assets. So she would take real creative and like would be able to actually like still be creative with it.
She was using like a Photoshop.
Kind of, yeah. Versus trying to just like generate stuff with it. Or she would use it for like mood boarding or stuff like that. So like she did a really good job applying her creativity with it and not seeing it as like, let me cut it. But like some people were like, oh, this takes away my creativity. It's like, that's not the point. It's like, for example, for creative strategy, like take the analysis away so you don't have to spend time in, you know, building reports, like help with some of the research, but like, don't just like try to one-shot briefs, like still make ads. You know what I mean?
So like for any job, like go look at the data-driven part of it, target that with AI. Leave the other stuff to the humans, basically.
Or like the administrative, right? Like everyone has some stuff that's part of the role. It's just like clicking buttons, probably, right? Even like an editor, stuff like that, you know?
So you mentioned TikTok Shop. You guys launched that this year.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been impactful to the business? I think you mentioned at some point that like you guys didn't see as much repurposing the meta really take off. But was it good in terms of like brand awareness?
Was that a
like, new
tweet
customer
that he
acquisition?
put out? Like not it didn't take off as much on the repurposing side?
I think he
Probably
might
me
have mentioned
telling
to me
you,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say okay. Like everything lately, I don't know. It's just like slow to start. I think probably it's like fine, right? We're doing like 150K a month on TikTok Shop, 160K. Like I wanted us to get to like, you know, our plan with TikTok was like whatever is like level 4, like 600K by the end of the year. I think probably there were some issues. Like we started fine. We had inventory issues on some of the products that we were doing it on, and then had some like the shop quality stuff. So like we got that out of the way, and then it was like, all right, let's scale. And then I was like, hey, I'm leaving Jones Road, whatever. But hopefully it's still you know a big priority and focus. I would say we just have to scale that engine a lot more. But we did find actually a lot of success with the creative. Like I'm very, very bearish on like UGC agencies. And I really think it's, you know, outside of like we had a lot of like partnership ads in Jones Road and those did really well. But outside of that, like we were done briefing UGC creators and we were really just using we're using Yuka to get the rights, like pretty good. And I think as our TikTok Shop flywheel would have grown, it would have gotten better.
What do you think about beauty in general? Like you guys saw some really strong growth. I think with like K-beauty brands, like you're seeing really pop off. That's been like a trend. How do you think about beauty in like 2026? Like, is it a tough industry? Is it as bad as people say?
I mean, it's had a really hard time. I always like hate to make excuses, but it's been just across the board like a bloodbath. Especially color has been hard. Where like even if you look at like Ulta earnings reports and stuff like that, fragrance and skincare have been carrying it. You know. So there's definitely like, it's very trend based, right? And things can be very hot and then cool off really quickly. And Jones Road is just like an anti-trend thing. And so we're just kind of like, you know, our mentality like was like, let's, you know, we didn't raise money, we didn't, whatever. It's like, we'll grow, but like we always need to be profitable. And like, we don't need to be the biggest, you know, we want to be a really healthy business. We want to have no debt. Like we want to be a business that's going to be around for years to come. Like we'd rather be a $200 million business, privately owned, family owned, than like, you know, $500 million one year, 300 the next, cash flow. Like, like Bobby's just like her makeup philosophy is just like very anti-trend. So a ton of beauty is culture and trend driven, you know. But that being said, you know, it's been obviously like beauty has been challenging lately, but there's definitely winners, and I think they're executing really well. They're riding the trends well. TikTok Shop is obviously a giant part of that. You know, like the way people want to shop beauty is changing, and like Sephora and stuff like that is huge, but TikTok Shop and Amazon are really the increases of where people want to shop as well.
Why do you think beauty is struggling though? Beyond the trends, is it macroeconomic?
It almost sounds like the skincare stuff is closer to like longevity, health and wellness type stuff that's doing well.
It's a few areas. So like I think it was really hot, same as luxury, like post-pandemic, right? It kind of ripped really hard. And so some of it is just like a natural drawdown from there. And I don't even want to say trend because it's not like a 1 year trend, but more of a consumer trend over time that like a more skincare first approach is there. So like we were doing a positioning exercise lately, and we were looking at competitors, and like almost every makeup brand that's in like our competitive space, like clean, is like skincare infused makeup. Like skincare is a huge focus where it used to be like not, and it was just like makeup to cover up. So people are wearing less color makeup. They're wearing less color cosmetics, and you're not finding that many color cosmetics brands that are selling because that market is down, and fragrance is really hot. Skincare is, really big. So that's one component. I also have a theory that GLP-1s have hurt it.
Interesting.
I've seen some data on it, but I have a theory, and I've seen like Sean Frank talk about it as well, where, you need more makeup when you need more makeup. Like when you're, whether it's physical stuff, whether it's status.
Maybe you're like a little bit more insecure. Like
Yeah, more insecure, or like, I mean, listen, when people lose weight, like if you launch a transformation, like people automatically look better. You know what I mean? When people are heavier, like they're puffier, like they're just like, they don't look as vibrant, and so you kind of sometimes need more makeup to help with that, whether it's physically need it, like cosmetically, or like emotions. And so I think A, people are needing less of that. It's the general cultural stuff. B, like just wallet share. Like GLP-1s are a few $100 a month. Like, you don't need as much. So I think there's like, I know somebody's launching like a skincare peptide brand that like is supposed to help with some of the GLP-1, like that brand's gonna rip, So I think there are cyclical stuff, but I think that's part of the reason why. But it's, it's gonna come back. It always does. But I think that's why. And then there's some of the, K beauty and stuff like that are just like absolutely ripping on it. And it's also just like the most competitive space. Like there are so many brands and beauty and skincare, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But
you guys, one thing that I've also noticed in the episode right before this with Beauty by Earth, they're also very careful with like their distribution. They're not in retailers. You guys own a lot of your distribution. You have your own stores. You're on TikTok Shop now, but it's not like you were the first one on there. You're not on Amazon. What have been like the advantages of you guys really controlling and owning that distribution versus like trying to be in Sephora, trying to be in Ulta, trying to be in all these different retailers?
Yeah. So again, like Jones Road launched, like Bobby thought it was going to do like $1 million a year. Like it was just a fun project for her. It wasn't like, let me go and build this business and exit it or something. And, she launched it after leaving and getting fired from Bobby Brown Cosmetics. And so part of it is control, and like, she's fortunate where she doesn't have to do it for the money. So it's like, how does she want to run the business? She wants to be in charge and control it. And so when you're in, some other distribution, Sephora, like nothing against them, but like they have all the leverage, like they own 50% or something like that of Fenty Beauty, and like they will kick them out of it because, like they have no loyalty to, even if they own a majority of it. Like they tell you what products to launch, what shades to bring out. Like you just give up a lot of that. And Bobby doesn't want to be told, oh, this is trending. Like she had so many years of that in a corporate environment, and Estee Lauder was like, oh, this is trending. And Bobby's like, I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a part of it. And it's, hey, it'll go slower, right? Like we know that we need to have brick and mortar presence. People need to try makeup online. So like that's been a challenge. Like we could get to a certain point D2C, and obviously D2C is just much harder now than it used to be with like Facebook challenges. But there's like a certain TAM of people that we can get to try stuff. There's probably another tranche of people that could be a good customer for us if they could only try it in person and do it. So our stores fortunately do really well. We don't put that much into them. We have a very short payback period. They're profitable. It's just, we could open up Sephora and do 50 million in 1 year. We can only open 10 stores a year. So
how many stores do you have now?
I think we have 15 right now.
Oh.
We started the year with 12 and going to open about 10 this year.
What's the relationship that you've seen between like scaling up your meta spend, some of the like new out of home stuff that you've done, and like retail sales? Are you seeing like with holdout tests and like whatever you're doing, you're like, oh, I scaled up spend in New Jersey by a good amount. Now the New Jersey retail stores are really picking up, or it's just not at that level. You don't have enough stores to really
the challenge is like if we were in Target or something like that, like if we were nationwide, then it would be easy to run a holdout and be like, hey, let's just blast, whatever is California. I've had like the house team look and try to like build models with like almost like a synthetic control, like, oh, let's pick these 4 stores and not. And there's just too much noise because we don't have enough stores. So I actually really don't have a good answer. Like I know that Meta does drive it pretty significantly, just like our general stuff, because people will see an ad and they're like, oh, I don't really feel comfortable spending $50 on a foundation without trying it in person. But I don't necessarily have like the data on it yet.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think like it's probably just not enough in one state. Yeah, it really makes sense. The out of home stuff that you've been doing, which you kind of started leaning more into right before you left. What was the reasoning behind that? Why did you feel so confident to make that move where a lot of people are worried about attribution or judging the ROI and things like that?
I underspent on brand, and I know it's like on D2C Twitter, it's like very controversial and stuff, but like you really should spend money on investing in the brand and how people feel about it and stuff like that. So we started tracking like tracksuit brand health, and like, yeah, all the performance stuff is important. And there's a lot that could be improved there. Like definitely. And it's still just as important. Like I hate the dichotomy of like, oh, we're going to switch from performance to brand. Like, no, like let's do both of them. Let's get really good at both of them. But like, I think one of the challenges that we were up against is like actually how people perceive us, you know, and how, and the number of people that are aware of and how people perceive us. So like we started actually putting money into brand and tracking it over a longer time horizon, which is, hey, we are going to have this strategic thing. We think people are perceiving us this way or for this customer, or not thinking we're worth the money for this, whatever it is. Let's go and address that and work on that over 6 months and see if those metrics improve at all. So that's one, but there's stuff to measure it. Like, I don't think out of home should be looked at as like a direct, like what's our incremental ROAS. We would look at that, but you can also look, we would test it with house. I would try to go full funnel. So you could test it with house. Let's say we spend $100K in New York City, right? First of all, anecdotally, do we look at our stores near there? Are they getting any more traffic? We can look at New York City compared to everyone else. That's one we could do with house and do like a quasi holdout. Are we seeing more sales, more new customers in New York City compared to everywhere else? And then also traffic, like GA4, because that's like, I think it's a good awareness thing. Are you just lifting search? And then we would also do studies with the out-of-home vendors. That's more upper funnel. So you can do some stuff, and it's how confident I am, I don't know, but directionally, like what's my awareness lift? What's my consideration lift to see, like, are you trying to paint like a full funnel story? But it just doesn't back out the same. You know what I mean? It doesn't back out the same, but I think it's important to do. And some percent of the budget I think should go to stuff like that. I don't know the amount of it though.
I guess like that is really controversial to say. Like,
brand, it's almost a meme on Twitter.
Brands should spend on brand. You said you don't know the exact number.
In the real world, it's not though. Like D2C Twitter is such a bubble. Like D2C Twitter is just like so performance based that like in the real world, it's like like most like larger brands, like it's not at all.
Like going forward though, like as you're building new brands, are you like thinking like, oh, we hit 20 million plus, we should start spending on brand? Are you thinking of this earlier?
I don't know. I think part of the challenge is just like, how challenging Meta is, and just knowing that like we didn't want to be just like a performance marketing brand. And I think it got to a point where it was like, that really was what drove us, and we don't want to continue to go that way. I think the only way to do that today is to be a subscription brand. Like you cannot have like a lot of brand and organic distribution and just rip Meta if you have like the LTV CAC fundamentals for it. But being like, you know, there's consumable aspects, but it's not subscription based. Like we need to be profitable on first purchase, you know, like that's our goal, or break even. Like it's just really, really challenging to do. And, you know, at 9-figure scale. So like really what we need is other distribution, you know, channels. But yeah, you're in Sephora, right? If you think about it, there's no click attribution. Like all you have is brand, and it's mainly built through like influencer and TikTok. But, you know, if you're wholesale, like really there is no performance marketing, really. It's all brand.
Yeah. And then you have to measure performance lifts at the week by, like with very old school sales reports with some retailers, right?
Yeah. And there's huge correlations between like earned media value and sales. So it's like at that level, that's really like all there is. It's just D2C Twitter is a big bubble.
Are you going to try to build another performance brand, or like you almost speak negatively about this being overly reliant on Meta?
It depends, I think, where the goal is. Like where I like when I'm consulting with brands, like the ones that to me are the most exciting are the ones that are really successful. Like I'm talking to a few that like in a lot of areas, and like Meta is actually a thing they haven't cracked. Like, you know, I was talking to one that I like DM'd you about. I don't want to like say I'm on here, but like they're crushing TikTok Shop, they're crushing Amazon. Like, oh, we haven't really like totally cracked Meta. I'm like, you're clearly good operators. You're clearly a product market fit. Like, I can help with that. So I think that's fun. And I'm like, I'm actually a Meta guy. That was part of me stepping down. I'm like, I don't think my skill set and my like tool belt is the best thing for what this business needs right now. It was good and got us here, but like, I think there's a different strategy going forward. So no, I think it just depends on for the brand. Like what I'm most fired up about is like, you know, what I had this dream of trying to launch was like 1-person brand, 0% OpEx, spending, like a 1.5 MER and like, 10% EBITDA business. But like, that's like what was fun to me. That's just a meta business. So I think it just depends how big you're trying to get and like what your goals are.
Would it be fair to say that you are a little bit more interested in like subscription or like high LTV in order to be able to run that low to the ground on?
Yeah, I would never do a non-subscription D2C brand again. I feel like you're almost like dead on arrival now. It's just so hard. Like D2C is really, really hard. There's definitely people making it succeed, so there's no excuses. But like I was talking to a big, one of the big, like COO of one of the big 3PLs in our space that has, giant brands and thousands of brands. And he was like, what we're seeing across the portfolio is like D2C is shrinking, right? Like year over year, D2C is shrinking. TikTok Shop used to be 1% of brands mix. Now it's 10%. And this was 6 months ago, so it's probably more now. Anyone that's growing, right? And these are like of larger brands, it's wholesale. So if you go into Target, right? All of the D2C brands, like you're going to see them all in the supplement aisle, like all of them. Like Amazon obviously is huge, wholesale. So it's just so challenging. So I think there's really no such thing as just D2C unless you want to stay a certain size. It's the whole Dan Kennedy quote. It's just back to all the fundamentals. Like whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Well, you just can't compete with somebody that can have a 6-month payback.
Yeah. I think also like it's just a shift, right? Like attention's always cheap somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like TikTok Shop was it for the last 2 years. You saw brands come out of nowhere and crush it. I think it's just it shifts every few years, and maybe Meta's not cheap anymore. That's all it is.
It's certainly not cheap anymore. No, I mean I felt like that. So I think I told you this is like the biggest blunder of my career. I met Hudson when like nobody knew who he was. Nick Sharma. We had dinner at Codex. It was Nick Sharma, Moise Ali, Hudson, and like he added Hudson to like the invite. And I was like, who's this guy? Like looking him up ahead of time. I think Hudson, they were doing like 100 mil a year at a time, like growing fast. And he was like, this was like probably like Black Friday, like November, like 2024 maybe. He was like giving us a playbook and telling us all like what they're doing and street interviews and content, and had these creators. And I was like, we grew 50% that year. And I was like, that's cool, man. Like that's for you. Like that's not really on brand for us, whatever. And he was like the nice guy. He like bought us dinner. He's like, no, you guys are legends for you. And then I'm the biggest idiot in the world. Cause like how I used to look at brands when I was like learning like Facebook ads from like Ezra Firestone, like 10 years ago, like they were cheap. You could arbitrage it. Like that was where I would look at these like traditional brands and I'm like, they don't get it. Like they're doing the TV ads. Like, and I actually think like that's how a lot of these TikTok Shop brands like look at like me and Connor McDonald and Connor Roll.
That's how they look at Meta now.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
you're Unk.
Like we're totally Unk. And so now I'm like, I never want to do that again. Like that's why I'm like, I want to learn this TikTok Shop from the ground up.
I thought it was going to
never want to feel like that again.
I thought it was going to get banned. I built one of the first brands ever to go viral on TikTok, 1 million followers in 2021, and I thought it was going to get banned as a platform.
There was definitely a space where it didn't really make sense to invest in it, and then once it got cleared, it was good again.
Who would have known?
Comfort is a good example of one of the ones where like everything we talked about, where it's like you want to be subscription, you want to be high LTV, maybe like high gross margins, and they're not any of that, right? But they understand social commerce so well that they've basically built a culture.
You know what I think it's more than anything, Zen? They know where the culture is at. Like they know where the attention is at.
Yep.
They know that young people are on TikTok Shop, and they knew it earlier than all of us.
And Hudson just has this like just the mentality that he has. It's just like part of why I stepped down. Like I was, when like you ever hear like NBA players are like they realize they got like cooked by a younger person. They're like, yeah, like I realized it was time for me. Like I know I don't know Hudson well, but I've talked to him a few times. I know him. I know like Chad Janis, and I'm like, those guys are like the 1%, the best of the best. I'm like, I just don't have that. Like, I'm not that I don't have that skill set that they have, but I also don't have that like belief and vision that they have. I'm like, and that's what you need to be like that successful. And I'm like, I'm just going to go run some ads. Like I can do that.
So wait, you're doing like a podcast about it while you build it? Is it a separate pod or is it like part of the main?
It'll be, so we're launching this brand. So I'll just tell you the backstory. Like the guys have been working on it for a while, right? So like I'm on Marketing Operators, which is part of the Operators Network. And so obviously we're friendly with, Matt and Sean and Jason. And at the Meta Performance Summit, Matt was like telling me about this new thing launching. I was just like so jealous. And I was like, if there's any way to get on the next one, let me know. But essentially there's a new podcast launching called Operators Build that they're doing. They've been working on this brand for a while, right? Like obviously everyone and their mother is launching subscription brands now, right? Like you had people on the pod talking about it. I know like, Sean and Ridge, they're launching some. There's a lot of people doing it because Meta is really, really hard and competition's hard. but it's also like the best time in the world. Like you could have a 1-person business, you know? So like that's what I'm excited about. You had the DTC 1.0, that was like the Allbirds, stuff like that. You had the 2.0 was like Jones Road, Ridge, Hexclad. You had the 3.0 that was like Create. It's like let me have like a 4-person team and be lean. Now I think you have like the 4.0, which is like 1-person team. Like 1% OpEx can really be the goal if you do it properly. So like Meta is hard, but you can like engineer your business, you know? So that's what I'm excited about. So long story short, they had been working on it for a while, and Matt hit me up the week that I stepped down, and he was like, "Hey, now that you're available, like you would be perfect for this. Like we kind of need like a founding marketer." So I got involved. So it's Matt, this guy Curtis, who's like the product guy. Sean Frank is involved, but he's obviously got a ton going on. Like I think Jason's involved, but behind the scenes, Mike Beckham. So he'll be pretty involved. So essentially, operating will be like me, Matt, Mike Beckham, and this guy Curtis. It's a sleep supplement. So really, really good ingredients. They worked on this product for like a year. So it's not just like a drop shipping thing. It's so good. Last night, my 18-month-old son woke up, and usually I'm like wide awake and stuff. My wife had to get him because like I couldn't even like get up. Like I heard him, and I just like was in such a deep sleep. So that was maybe we'll have to clip this and run it as an ad for it.
Found the ad.
So we're launching this really soon, and we're launching it in public. So it'll be Operators Build. We've been recording episodes. We'll have a season ready.
Oh, you've been recording actively.
Yeah, and they've been recording for like 6 months, and then we've just been recording lately. But like every aspect of it will pretty much be live, building in public. It's been so much fun. I've been working on this for about 2.5 weeks. Like Matt started the website, but I've been like building landing pages, like all Codex, all Claude. So like part of it is like, how do we have this be an experiment where we have no employees or as few employees as possible and build with AI as much as possible. So super, super excited about it. We don't really know how big we think it can get. We don't know if it'll be successful at all. It could go down the drain, but it'll be really, really fun. And that's what I'm excited about.
Is the primary goal to educate folks on what you guys are doing, or are you like, what's the level of seriousness, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's multiple. I think it's, and again, I came in late, so I'm still trying to understand, but I think there's been a lot of incubators or holding companies, and some not successful, some really successful, like Zach Stuck is like crushing it. He's killing it. He's like an amazing operator. But I think why I'm excited about it is like, if this is successful, we can rinse and repeat this. Like, we're not just like VCs or just podcasters. We're actually operators who can like operate it. We have really good networks. We have relationships with a lot of the tech companies in the space. So we're able to get, access to things. So I feel like there's like almost nobody better to be able to do this and do it successfully with like the team that we have. So I think end goal, we'd love to have a successful company and be able to exit it and be able to have a big company, but it'll just be a really cool thing and a fun thing to do. So if it works, I think we'll try to launch a few brands a year. But it'll be cool to build in public and just get like what's cool is like, because it's public, we're recording episodes where we're getting, people like Zach Stuck or Jordan McNard, like to come on a podcast and like just give us game on like how to set the offer, how to build landers for it. So again, for me, it's fun. And I think people will get value out of the content because there's a lot of, so I'd say half of it is also the content. Like the podcast is cool, but it's like it's for 9-figure brands. Like that's feedback even marketing operators get sometimes. And it's also like, it's more high level. And I think we can be much more tactical with this, which is at least like how I learn.
Yeah, I like when Nine Operators first started, it was very tactical. Now it's like moved on to bigger, more brand discussions. I think there's gonna be a nice niche for this. My prediction for 2027 is this year was the year of like TikTok Shop. That's what it feels like. I think next year is gonna be the year of the 1% OpEx brand. Like that's gonna be the obsession, because AI is gonna get to a point where it feels like anyone should be able to achieve that. Do you agree?
I mean, yeah. And so one of the things I tried to do at Jones Road was like, if you're like in the last year, was like, if you want to hire somebody, prove to us AI can't do it. And like, it's not that successful. Because everyone has a different mentality. Like, I know what AI can do, but like other people, like, they don't know. They're like, no, I need a person for it. The fun thing is like, we're all like AI pilled. Like Matt is super into AI as well. Mike Beckham is as well. So before we hire anybody, we're like, prove to me it can't be done, right? So like, I built our emails. Like I used all my Fable tokens for a week, but like built our email system, and like they look beautiful. Like you can't even tell. Now I'm building a HQ agent and worker for it. So like, we're not going to hire an email agency. I'm going to be running our emails. So like, I truly believe like one person can do the work of 4 or 5 people. It's not that like AI can replace it, but like one more senior person can. So that's why this is exciting. So that's our goal. We've set our first hire once we get up and running and get some revenue coming, it's gonna be like a head of creator, because like we're gonna do tribe and do like the Hudson style thing and like have a creator community for creative. But you can't do that with AI. Like there's still parts that the human stuff is important. But yeah, that's the goal. Is to, like I'm building the website ourselves. I'm pushing PRs. Like we don't have a web development agency, so like our OpEx I think can be extremely low for this. And
what's
and
the
that's
token cost and all this? Like, how much are you burning per month on?
I'm on just subscription, so I'm on
Not even anything meaningful then.
I'm on 200 a month Codex, 200 a month Claude, and I don't even come close to hitting, limits.
So you're building like the skeleton for this whole brand with $200 a month.
Essentially, I mean, obviously Matt's got his plan, like other people do, but yeah, we're not spending like 10 grand a month on tokens or anything. Maybe we will in the future, but for now, no.
Yeah, I also think like token costs we're gonna see go down. Like I had one kind of tool where we were using like Claude Sonnet, which is not that expensive, and then we switched it to Kimmy, and it was like almost like free.
Yeah, I definitely was pretty stressed like a few months back when like everyone was like, it's gonna be like an Uber thing and they're gonna jack up prices.
Yeah,
and so it's been so great with all this open weight stuff that now it's like, all right, it's actually only gonna get cheaper.
It's more like a public utility. If anything, it's like water. Like it's like it's gonna be super cheap.
But it's like it's wild. Like, and you have this. I also, that's why it's fun. Like it's really, really, really hard to take an existing company organization with 50 people, 80 people, and try to do AI. Like banged my head against a wall trying. You know what I mean? And it's really, really, really hard. And so I think you almost have to build it from the ground up. Like the software companies that are going to win now are likely going to be the ones that are building it from the ground up. Like Klaviyo is going to have a hard time like integrating AI and whatever. Like a new one, like kind of like Rich Panel is showing you this. Like Rich Panel is doing a really good job, and they're really built for this moment. Versus like Gorgeous is. It took them like 2 years to launch what Rich Panel has because it's just harder to do and to get your team on board. You have tech debt, you have people debt. And so having none of that from the beginning is incredibly refreshing. And I think the brands are doing, like, if you look at like the IM8 site, like obviously they're ripping, like it's clearly Claude. Like they have all the tells. Like I'm actually surprised with like their size and their founding. Like it's clearly just Claude. Like they haven't like built a design system properly. But it's also like they're just probably ripping and testing so many landing pages, so many tests so quickly. So it's just, I think there's going to be a new era of brands that are just cracked, and that's your competition too. Like you guys have seen those like memes, like that's who's your competition, and it'll show like in Asia, like they have like the content farms with the phones up. Like
yeah,
there are legit people doing that, drop shippers, affiliates. Like that is legitimately your competition. And that's why I was like, how is Jones Road going to compete with like we're in person, you're launching 10 ads a week, like compared to these people. Like it is slop and it is whatever, but like there is this opportunity to be able to do it. But I think it's one of those things where it's like when you have more people, it's actually a lot harder to do.
I think either you embrace it, or like if you want to compete, you go in the complete opposite direction and you do things that AI just can't do well at all, and you become really good at those. I mean, that's part of the reason why I went into agency. I was just like, what is the most anti-AI thing of all time? Oh, creatives. Let's just do creatives. Let's do things like this podcast, right?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I think the bigger the org, the more pushback, the more friction, the more people are afraid of losing their jobs. But if you start with AI and then you're like, okay, I will only replace this with a human if AI can't do it, that's a very different
Do
way
you
to go.
interview people on their AI abilities during the interview process too?
I started to. Going forward, it was like, why would I hire somebody without it? But again, like that's where like we hired a new CRO person. So I built this program, and like even before I knew I was leaving, I was like, all right, I was just doing it at nights and weekends for fun, but I'm like, let me get one person to take it over. And so built a job description. I was like very different than our normal ones. And it was like, this is an experimental role. You're going to be a one person CRO thing. Yes, you'll have some design and dev support, but like really all you. And like it attracted the right people. Like we got somebody who's like really outstanding. Like I'm actually really sad to not really be able to like work that closely with her. We got somebody great because it was like, she was like, wow, this is such an incredible opportunity, you know? So I think the right person but again, she was hired for that. Getting head of supply chain to start using AI and change the workflows and try to lean out that team, like incredibly challenging to just go into people's workflows and whatever. It can be done, but it's a lot harder.
So in terms of like, you've been a host for marketing operators for quite some time. How do you think that's helped the journey of like Jones Road and like becoming a better operator? Like every week you're talking to other top CMOs, you're bringing on guests and you're talking to them and interviewing them about
and kind of building in public as well.
Oh yeah, definitely so much. Like I really feel like I've only benefited from being public. Like when I first started tweeting stuff, like, you know, our board would be like, oh, I don't really want you to do that, whatever. And I'm like, that's a scarcity mindset. Like I'm just gonna do it or whatever. I'll, ask for forgiveness later. Like, I mean, there's been a few things. Like I'm actually like a pretty shy and private person normally. So like when I had my announcement leaving, like it went viral, and like Inc. magazine picked it up, Wall Street Journal picked it up. Like it was a little like uncomfortable, and then like some of it sucks because you get 100, like the comments were so overwhelmingly positive, and like it was really cool. But you get like 100 positive comments, you get one negative one, and like that negative one like puts you in a bad mood, right? And so like there's some aspect of that, but I think the positive outweighs it. So I've really only had positives. I learn, it's one of those old cliches, like you learn by teaching a little bit, So I do learn from doing that. I think both Connors are great, so I learn from them every week, right? Like that's fun. I can just like ask them questions like, how would you do this? Also because I think people perceive that, we're giving value and have status or whatever it is. Like I now have a network of people I can reach out to who like, even though I haven't like done a personal favor for them, I almost like have clout with them because of the podcast. So I think it's really helped with the network, and just having people who, if I need, like honestly, that's the biggest thing. It's just having the network where like, right, it's just like, hey, we're launching a TikTok shop. Like Zane gave me a ton of advice for free on that, or Zach Stuckwell or like Connor Dalt called me the other day about buy boxes. So like, I think just having that, I don't think I would have that if I was private about it. So I really have seen very few negatives and only positives, but also like just a fun thing to do.
All right, so Cody, if people want to find you, where's the best spots to find you online? Where do you prefer people follow you?
I'm on X. I'm not really a LinkedIn guy, so really just X, at Cody Plof. If you just look through some of the replies of Zane's, you could probably find me because he's just like, sure, I'm just swear this guy has notifications on. No, it's
What
funny.
about the podcast?
And then podcast is Marketing Operators, and the new one will be Operators Build.
This morning I was like, how do we know Cody's actually coming? And then it's like, don't worry, he was clowning me on Twitter.
Yeah, I was like, he was up at like 7:30 already at reply.
I know it's funny.
Like
Sometimes like I'll like reply and just like mention Zane and almost like subtweet Zane.
Yeah,
and
without even
I think sometimes people without tagging. And I think sometimes people think I'm subtweeting, but I message Zane right after I post it.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's the pod.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Cool. We finally made it happen.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to do it.